future.
No, we can't drive till the wheels are on.
And weekends in a local restaurant. Time is tight, and so is her tiny budget. The bonnet is the kind of expensive bit of this car in terms of the panel work, because I mean there are some big holes in this corner. I mean the wings can obviously be changed, but there's a big hole over there, there's holes here.
Yeah, realistically she'd be better off trying to find another bonnet.
That's going to make a big dent in her finances, isn't it?
It'll make a massive dent.
There isn't much left of this wreck to rescue. I think Lizzie's either very, very brave or completely mad.
There's some days where it really gets to me and I say to my mum, what have I done? I try and put it to the back of my mind, but I think I've got a pretty good sense of humour and I think you just have to laugh your way through it or you just cry.
There's a lot of work to be done over the next weeks and months, but boy is she feisty about wanting to get this car done, and that's exactly the kind of attitude you need when you've got such a mammoth project ahead of you. 10 months is a long time and it could all go pear-shaped. Restoring a wreck is a much bigger challenge than most people anticipate. That's one of the reasons so few succeed and why so many projects end up abandoned to rust in peace. What a waste! So I'm on a mission to help motivate some other enthusiasts to actually achieve their restoration dreams. Like 20-year-old Lizzie, who's determined to restore a 1959 Mark I FROGEYE Sprite. This is a shed. Are you disagreeing with me?
Yeah.
It is a shed. But the car is in terrible condition. I don't think I've ever seen a classic car in this state.
Bloody hell. What have I brought?
She's only got a £3,000 budget for the whole project and no restoration experience at all. And you're going to do everything on this.
I'm going to try my hardest.
The FROGEYE's got to be ready for a major classic car rally and the clock's ticking.
10 minutes doesn't seem long. I feel like I'm ready to get stuck in and give it a go.
4 weeks in and Lizzie's been very busy. She spent every available hour hacking out all the rusty steelwork in preparation to rebuild the body shell with new panels.
To when all the bits are chopped out you think, bloody hell, what have I spent £1,000 on? There's like nothing left there and I've had to pay out loads more to get all the new panels, so you wonder what you actually paid for at the end of the day.
I've encouraged Lizzie to put her plan up as a reminder of what's still to do, but also to keep her motivated and on schedule.
It's nice to tick things off once I've achieved them. I think it helps with your confidence as well and ready for the next job.
I've also suggested she gets on and orders the parts she needs, but she'll have to watch her worryingly tight budget.
Has gone to £263.80.
And that's for just a few bits and pieces. Money is an issue, but so is her available time. I'm worried about Lizzie's other commitments, which are squeezing her schedule.
Lizzie!
What?
You need to be coming in now. You've been weeks getting ready for this. You've got to have it right.
Yeah, this has got to be right.
10 minutes max, no longer.
In just an hour's time, Lizzie is due to perform in a major dance show. In addition to her mechanical activities, Lizzie is a passionate and talented dancer. Since the restoration project began, she's been juggling late nights in the workshop with show rehearsals.
She did say at one point when she was practising one night that she stood there and froze and all she could think about was the back axle and what she needed to do to it and things like that.
Sitting out for dancing, so concentrate on my car and back to normal, so to speak.
It's well after midnight before Lizzie gets home. You have to admire her get up and go. Next day, it's back in the garage.
Yes, a big difference from all the makeup and all the lights and the glamour last night. It's now back to reality.
Some more parts have arrived, but with no room in the garage, Lizzie begs a favour from her mum.
This is why the doors are always kept closed. But then the rest of the house, I think, has to be a no vehicle zone for everybody's sanity, really.
To fit these new body panels, Lizzie will need a spot welder. She doesn't have one.
It'll fit just on there.
So I've lent her mine. Problem is, it's almost as big as she is and really heavy.
I've actually got to have everything sort of chopped out, spot welded, everything all ready sort of for spraying within the next 3 months really. That's just when the weather will sort of start to change, and you just really need to do it while it's really like warm and sunny. I'm looking forward to that.
But first she's got this lot to fit and spot weld. It's very daunting. The important thing is not to lose sight of the dream. In 8 months' time, this is what Lizzie wants to be doing. When the FROGEYE Sprite was first launched in 1958, the motoring press loved it. Autosport dubbed it a spectacular success. It was ahead of its time, and thanks to one particular unintentional design feature, it instantly became a classic icon. It is a very odd sight seeing these headlamps sticking out of the bonnet as if they're an afterthought, which I suppose essentially they were, because the original idea was that this car would have pop-up headlights, but then it would never have been called the FROGEYE. They're just cute. No other word for it. That exhaust note, just such a great sound. Listen to that. This little car is a perfect example of why I think classic cars are such a joy to drive. This is a great little car for courting couples, because you've got every excuse to get really close to your quarry. I've borrowed this amazing early car from the Haynes Motor Museum in Somerset. Of the £11 million worth of cars in this incredible collection, it's the little FROGEYE that steals the show for senior curator Mike Penn. That is absolutely extraordinary. Amazing. What a sight! It's just amazing.
My very first car that I bought with my own money was a FROGEYE Sprite, and a red one too. I paid £190 for my FROGEYE, and these were originally about £600 new.
Because I mean, this at the time presumably must have looked like a really sexy little car.
It was a little beauty. Leonard Lord, of course, was looking for a sports car that he could produce cheaply enough and was small enough to fit in a working man's bike shed. And of course the way they did it was to use parts that were already around, already extant. Things like the A35, for instance, and the Morris Minor. This was the first sports car to be completely unitary construction. It's made in just 3 bits. You know, there's the back bit, there's the front bit with the chassis legs, and there's the bonnet, and that's it. As soon as you get in this motor car, it fits you, or it fitted me like a glove. You felt part of the car. This is the really, really special car to me. It's the one that I remember most. I think it's probably the one that's closest to my heart.
Meanwhile, how's Lizzie coping? She's been working on her FROGEYE now for 4 months, and although she's spot welded a lot of the panels, it's taking much longer than scheduled.
She's probably about 6 weeks behind.
Lizzie is losing her patience fast.
Well, we've had a few problems. To be honest, I said to my dad that I was just tempted just to take it to a scrap metal garage and just get it squashed up into like a 6-inch square paperweight and send it to Mark and say, this is what I think I'm a FROGEYE at the minute. And I've already said that I'm never doing another car after this, ever. One of the main problems I've had is, like, every time you come to spot weld, if there hasn't been any paint taken off, the spot welder doesn't work and it just like hums. But it's so frustrating when you get the spot welder like up here and then it don't work, and then you have to sort of start breaking some of the tack welds.
It's very soul destroying, but having said that, once you've made a mistake a couple of times like that, you learn from your mistakes and then you make sure